Sun, Moon, Ascendant, and Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 1st to the 15th, 2025 reading for you. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Okay. I love that. Oh, interesting. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. I love it. I love it. Okay, let me just move the camera just a bit for you. Okay, I hope that's better. I hope you can see it all. I think you can. All right. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Fantastic. Okay, I really like this reading. So let's note that the astrological events that are going to be happening from the 1st to the 15th of October. Right? We'll have the full moon on the 6th, and we will have the full moon is in Aries, so that's going to be quite intense for us. So being aware of that is going to be super important. We also have Mercury entering into Scorpio. We've come to terms with some Scorpio energy here. It's leaving, but there's going to be a very powerful presence as the sun moves towards Scorpio during this time. And we also have then on the 13th with Pluto going direct and with Venus entering into Libra. Now, Venus loves being in Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. This is energy that feels so cozy and comfortable. But with Pluto going direct, okay, large scale transformation is coming forward. And with the Scorpio energy coming forward during this time, with Mercury entering into Scorpio, Mercury is all about communication. Scorpio is all about, secrets. So we're digging in deeper into matters, pulling out secrets, pulling out, what was once hidden. And with Pluto going direct, we will see that what was once hidden starts to come forward quite powerfully and quite intensely. So this is going to be, it's kind of like buckle up. I know it's already gotten really intense in this world, but October is a wild ride, but it is a powerful, powerful time. It brings us to the heart of it all, which is the Hermit. We're turning inward, okay? There is kind of the sense of, I've had enough of all this chaos, all this nonsense, everything that's going on. I'm turning inward. Very strong Virgo energy here. Time frame is August 23rd to September 22nd. We just came out of Virgo time period, and we are going to feel that energy still with us. There is a sense of transformation here as well, a shedding of an old way of being, an old, kind of way of looking at things. I see it with the snake. There's a flexibility of mind, there's a flexibility of spirit, but there's also that shedding of a skin. And when you shed that skin, that's when a snake goes into, kind of like, it's not hibernation, but it goes into protection mode. So as you're shedding your skin, you need to be protected. You need to be more secure within yourself. So there's going to be this sense of kind of like coziness is going to be really important to you during this time. And the sense of making sure that things are protected, that you are protected. There's light within the darkness that is coming. There's instinct, there's understanding that's opening up doors for you. And then with the challenge, it is the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We are in Libra time frame. And so here we can find it difficult to take in all the messages that are coming our way, but also to sit there and really realize that this is a time of learning. That can also be why we're turning inward so much. That this is a time of powerful and profound learning, that we're going to be getting messages from spirit, that there is a sense of putting on our, indigo cloaks, our sense of power and intuition and deeper understanding, but also nobility of spirit and what we desire. The white horses, right here, the white horse here is connecting us with spirit, is connecting us with deeper information. And we'll see that reiterated in Scorpio, right, in the energy that is leaving. Now, where we need to focus is that ports are opening for us, meaning ideas are opening. There are gateways that are opening for us during this time, places or ideas that once felt barred, that either we weren't ready for or felt overwhelming. Now we're like, oh, I can do this. We have the Three of Wands here, and the Three of Wands opens up these doors, gives this guidance, gives this understanding, has us looking at things in quite a different way than we had seen them before, but has us looking at ourselves, not as scared and overwhelmed, but in the sense of, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I've got that. And also, being very grounded in how we're moving forward, being very aware of how we can extend ourselves, overextend ourselves, type of deal. So looking at that here with the Three of Wands, that's going to be a very important thing. We need to focus on the doors opening, on new ideas coming in, new ideas coming out, or, kind of like business arrangements opening up for us, kind of like this idea with trade or with deeper understanding, this idea with more information coming to us. We can be working with people from different walks of life, different ideas coming forward, or just gathering up this information that gives us a new look or a powerful insight into the world that is around us. It moves us to the energy that we are leaving behind, and that's the Death card. And I know we can be sitting there and go like, oh, woohoo, I leave death behind, like, because death is scary. But the Death card is a sense of transformation. It's a dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. Now, we could have seen things crumbling, falling apart, kind of like their ending has come. And we could have been, kind of intimately aware of that or dealing with that during this time. Kind of, Spirit is saying guided by loss, guided by the understanding of loss or pain or, despair. And that has changed the way that we see the world. That has also changed the way that we see ourselves. But I see the Death card as transformation. It's actually one of the most positive cards in the tarot. And we have the white dogs with red ears, again, signifying spirit. Spirit is leading us forward in a very real way. We're connecting with the fairy world here. This is Welsh mythology, so we were always connecting with the fairy world, but we're connecting with deeper insights, deeper understandings, a sense of like, where do I really want to be? What is it that I'm looking for myself? What is driving me forward? And there's this deeper connection to a call. It's kind of like the Selkie call or the, not the Selkie call, well, it could be, but it's also the siren call, but it's not like with that doom to take us to our end, but it is to transform us. It's kind of like we go into the waters and are transformed and awakened into so much more than we had realized we could be, or a part of us that had dreamed. And then we thought, oh, that's so silly, is now coming up. And it's like, oh, wow, this is more than I expected it to be, or I didn't realize that I could do this. And we feel ourselves entering into a new stage of our lives, a new sense of accomplishment or a new sense of focus. And it brings us to our strength, and our strength is going to be the people around us. Like, either we have a fantastic team, a fantastic family, just the sense of, I raise my glass to you, I celebrate you, I'm here for you, under the light of the moon. Yes, we are going to have our full moon during this time. And so there is a sense of brightness, there is a sense of connection, there is a sense of joy. There is also a need during this time to connect, to not be isolated, though we have the Hermit at our heart. So it will be very easy for us to close the doors and say, I'm good. But just having those connections, just going out even a little bit. We might not be in the mood for like huge social events, but really connecting with those who are sacredly close to us, who we love, who we adore, that's going to change our world. And that's going to be our greatest strength. That's where we're going to pull power from during this time. It moves us then to our near future. And this is the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is like, hey, you're going to be juggling a lot. Make sure, Aries, you're not biting off more than you can chew. Also know that with what you're juggling, with what you're taking care of, you might feel like somebody, I don't want to promote paranoia because that's not what we're here for, but it's like somebody's not being totally honest with you. No, somebody's not being totally upfront. And you have the foxtail behind you. And so that's reiterated. It's like, yeah, like there are people who are like being sneaky. There's just sneakiness that is around you during this time. And as you're juggling everything, and there's also a bit of emotional turmoil. Now, it can be that the sneakiness is somebody's not asking for help when they need it. It can be that they don't want you to take away their glory from them, so they're going to hide everything. You do have that Scorpio energy that's leaving. And Scorpio energy can be very secretive. And Aries, we're not secretive. We're like, if we don't like you, we'll tell you. And we don't really care. I mean, we might care if we hurt your feelings, but you'll know where you stand with us. Scorpio, in ancient tradition, before Pluto was found, now is ruled by Pluto. But I really see Scorpio as being ruled by Mars, because Scorpio was once upon a time ruled by Mars. We, the warriors out in front, you see us, right? You see Aries. We're straightforward. You've got this. So you're straightforward, you're determined, you're focused, you'll say it as it is. these are the spies. These are the people who work in the shadows. You might not get along with this energy. So just be aware of that. Be aware on the 6th when, Mercury goes into Scorpio, that there's layers to everything that really will frustrate you, Aries, because you're like, okay, just speak plainly, speak plainly, name it plainly, show it plainly. Like Confucius said, name it plainly. Like that's what you want. So being aware of that energy, and also being like, I'm done with the lies and the sneakiness and the deeper meanings into everything, or the double entendres that people are having. Just speak plainly. That's going to be really important to you during this time. And that can be why the Hermit is here, where it's like, I'm going to turn inward and I'm really going to focus with what I can build, in my energy for myself, that's plain and clear cut. So being aware of that, super important. The advice for this time is the 10 of Pentacles. You're coming to a completion of a cycle when it comes to money, or what you value as much as money: prosperity, success, bounty, abundance. You are looking at your wealth and you have a deeper understanding of things. Now, you have gone through some tough times, absolutely. And this is going to be a time where you're looking at your prosperity, where you're looking at your success, and you're seeing yourself very differently than you have before. This is also going to be a time where you share wisdom, where you share the wealth, but not all of it, right? We have 9 pentacles up on the banner that can be seen, but we have 1 pentacle on the table that is being shared. So it's like, share your wealth, but don't give everything away. Embrace your prosperity, but know your worth and know what you desire. Know what you are building towards your wisdom and towards your deeper understanding. This is a connection with community. This could be building community, but this is also building something that lasts for generations, that brings forward prosperity and success. It moves us then into the environment that we're in. And this is the Lover's energy. Now, we do have, Venus entering into Libra. So this brings romantic energy really powerful to the forefront. We can just want to be with our partners or with our person and with the people that we love, either romantically or personally. It's like, no, I just want to surround myself with people that I love and be done with all the rest. Don't go too heavily into that, because it'll kind of be like overindulgence, right? And you still need to look at things that maybe you're not too keen on, Aries, during this time. But this is also embracing love. You have the Archangel Gabriel blessing things, but also he's a warrior, a fighter, a protector. And so there's a protection over you as you embrace what you love. She is wearing yellow. He is wearing, indigo. And so here with the yellow representing the sun, the indigo representing the moon, they are mirroring the others, I want to say personality, or energy that we draw from. We say the moon represents femininity. We say the sun represents masculinity. So they are giving aid where aid is needed to the other. And so there is a sense of balancing from somebody that you might not expect to, have such insight into things, have such knowing. And that's going to be really important here. This is also Gemini energy, time frame May 21st to June 20th. This Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So with Mercury entering into Scorpio, and really digging deep into matters and facts and knowledge about things, you can find that you want to know the whys and the how comes. You're immensely curious, but you can also be immensely secretive with that curiosity. Geminis do have a tendency to be a bit secretive because they're gathering up the information, and it's like, well, if I don't have everything worked out in my head, why would I tell you, right? I'm still working it out. I'm still gaining an understanding. This is going to be a time where you're gathering an understanding towards what you love, towards what you deeply desire, towards what is really important to you. And it moves us then to the hopes and the fears. And the hopes and the fears is Capricorn energy. Time frame of Capricorn is December 22nd to January 19th. Now, the devil, you have the death card and the devil card. These cards are scary in the tarot. And, with the devil here, it is the horned one. This is the connection with nature. This is the connection with deeper insight. The devil is a conglomeration, a putting together of all chaos gods, that Christendom had conquered. And they said, okay, I'll take your gods, but I will give them I'll give them a flair. I'll give them a twist. We can see that especially with the goddess Bridget, who became Saint Bridget. And yet she didn't have this martyrdom that so many other saints had, like this cruel, awful death. She had a boil on her face. She was supposed to marry this Roman, I think a Roman person or somebody who was powerful and had a lot of money. She wanted to join the church. her father was like, no, this is what you're doing. And so God put a boil on her face. She became so hideous that the guy that she was supposed to marry was like, absolutely not. Her father looked at her and said, there's no use for you. Go join the nunnery. At least I won't have to, pay for your existence. And as soon as she did, the boil went away and she became, Saint Bridget. So that's a goddess being transformed into a saint that is so beautiful and so powerful. Here we're going to see chaos being transformed. Our hope is to transform chaos, not into, the orderly, gardens of Versailles, where there's not a hair out of place, right? Everything is ordered and perfect, but into something a little bit wild and much more natural. What we're going to see is that deeper wisdom is hidden. There's light within the darkness if we look for it. And if we trust ourselves and calm ourselves and center ourselves, we have protection around us. And we have this deep knowledge, this deep understanding guiding us. We are afraid that chaos will just take over. The Capricorn time period is in the shift of the year when the portal opens, but also when the Northern Hemisphere is in the depth of winter, when there is fear and when there is darkness and when there is overwhelm and when there is chaos so ready to knock on your door and take it all. So here, we are aware. We are aware of chaos and we fear it taking over. But we hope that chaos brings with it insight. Chaos brings with it beauty that we could not see. The natural world is a chaotic world, but it is also so very beautiful. And it's that connection with nature and humanity that we are seeking during this time, that we are looking for. There can also be a very strong link with a Capricorn, but you can also have issues with Capricorn energy, with people who are Capricorns. And it brings us then, just like we could be leaving a Scorpio behind. It's like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this anymore. Or this person was a tremendous impact on our life, but they could have left us in one way or another during this time. And that's going to have a lasting impact on us. It moves us to the Seven of Pentacles, patience. Be patient. I know nobody wants to hear that because we are sitting there. It's like, how long exactly am I supposed to be patient for? Is it for eternity? Is my whole existence? Here with the Seven of Pentacles, know that the fruits of your labor are bearing fruit. Or the work of your labor is bearing fruit. There's power and prosperity to you. Be patient and let it ripen naturally. Let yourself step into this new season of abundance. But if you pick everything too soon, it will not be as sweet. It will not be as powerful. It moves us then to the sun. The sun is your bonus card. The sun is a yes to whatever it is that you are looking for. Now you might say, but I have no's here as well. But the answer is that there's struggle and then there is absolute, power and conquering and joy and success that moves you forward. The sun is guiding you most beautifully and most definitely. What you're going to see with yourself is that there is an illumination of joy, that there is love, and that there is deeper mystery being seen, that you are stepping further and further into what you love and enjoy, and you are stepping closer and closer to your soul's calling. And that is just letting you shine so brilliantly. It moves us then to our spirit message. Now, if you are looking for romance during this time, okay, because we do have Venus working so beautifully here, I do see you very drawn to somebody who is either a Capricorn or a Virgo. And that can be intense energy, right? They're so very practical, but they're also very much living in the earthly connection of the now. So just being aware of that. If it is a Capricorn, okay, you have issues with this energy, okay, they're going to come up. You can also be very drawn to a Gemini during this time as well. Actually, this is an energy that's all around you. You will get on splendidly with a Gemini if it comes forward, okay? If that person comes forward in your life, you will get on splendidly. But I do see something very intriguing and very substantial about a Capricorn or a Virgo. And with the Capricorn energy, there's going to be issues that are worked through that kind of like a betrayal that you have had from a Capricorn that you are going to put into this scenario and say, oh, well, this is how it's going to be. And yet they're completely different. Okay, so just be aware of that. And they have a bit of Gemini in them as well. So it could be a Gemini with a lot of Capricorn. It could be a Capricorn with a lot of Gemini in their chart. So just be aware of that, meaning that they're inquisitive and they're not closed-minded and they're not so strict and so rule-oriented, which is what a Capricorn can be when they are like a little bit too negative, right? When they're more negative, they can be absolutely rigid, and that can be very overwhelming. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides. This is clarity. There's a lot of clarity that's coming in during this time for you. A lot of insight, a lot of greater understanding, a lot of what was once really confusing, really starting to make sense. And it moves us then to our energy, our chakra energy. And for this time, it is divine wisdom. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. And this is kind of like wisdom being downloaded into you. Actually, not kind of, it's very much like that wisdom being downloaded into you. It is deeper understanding. It is a knowing that guides you forward. And it's a sense of like, I have to trust my gut. I have to trust my intuition because it is opening so many doors. It moves us then to the energy to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Yeah, exactly what we were saying. This is Cernunnos. Cernunnos is the devil, and this is the Druid Craft deck. So just being mindful that the chaos comes in. And you can see here what's very interesting. Well, you can't see it so well depicted in these cards, but the Lovers and the devil are the opposite of each other in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. If you're interested in the imagery, Google. But here, well, not here, but in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it is a man and a woman standing before the Archangel Gabriel, right, being blessed in a garden. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it is a man and a woman chained to the devil. So both are standing before powerful, powerful figures, one chained by it, one exalted by it and blessed by it. What we're going to see here is that we can be afraid of what we are chained to, of fears, of doubts, of chaos. We want to break those chains most definitely. We want to embrace what we love, and knowing that there's always an element of chaos to existence. You know, that is just one of the prices of being alive. And here we can be also really overwhelmed by the energy of Saturn. Saturn is very rule-oriented. There's structure, there's law. This is exactly the way that it is, and this is the way that it will always be. And we can feel overwhelmed by that because we want to change our fortune. We want to move things forward. We want more than like feeling like we're trapped, you know, and something has been like kind of like preordained and there's no way out of it. There is a sense here of taking control of our lives and what we deeply want. And that's why we turn inward. And Spirit is saying, listen to the inner voice, listen to your inner guidance. It's going to be so much more helpful than you think it is. It's going to open up doors and open up connections that once you would have run away from because it would have been too much. It moves us then to our subconscious spirit message. And this is nature. Embracing your nature, but also embracing nature is going to be important. We tend to be cave people during this time, in this period in our world where we are inside so much. And even just getting up, even just moving can be really hard. So, or can feel like I don't have time for that. Making time for that is going to be important. Movement of body, if you cannot move your body for any physical reason, just the imagining of movement and letting that flow of energy come in. Also sitting by a window, by the fresh air can be very, very beneficial. If you can't do that, then just, you know, letting yourself imagine just all this beautiful freshness and light and beauty be around you. That is so helpful, and that is transformative. It really is. It moves us then to our subconscious chakra message. And this is the solar plexus chakra. This is trusting your gut. You are coming out of a time of kind of being frozen, of being overwhelmed. And now as you are breaking free, you're stepping into what you want. And this happens many, many times in our life, this transformation, this insight, this knowledge, this power. And we step out of what had us frozen, maybe frozen in time for a little bit, frozen and overwhelmed, and it felt impossible to make decisions. Now we are listening to our intuitive self, and we are listening to that power, and it's opening up doors. It moves us then to our energy to be mindful of. And our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Wheel of Fortune. Very interesting that we have 2 major arcana cards here. We have actually a bunch of major arcana cards that have shown up in this reading, meaning that this half of month, the first half of October is going to be a heavy hitter. We are apprehensive about entering into a new chapter. And there is a new chapter that is opening up to us, new insight, new understanding. The wheels have changed, like the Wheel of Fortune has changed. And it doesn't mean that it has to be bad. We're just entering into a new period of what we want, of what we're looking for, of what we desire for ourselves. And, you know, coming to terms with letting some things go, or also just coming to terms with the fact that we are stepping into a powerfully transformative time is going to open up the door for us. And it brings us to our subconscious message of the King of Wands. You are represented by the wands in the minor arcana. So the King of Wands comes forward here. It's about transformation. The salamander in alchemy, represents transformation, and it's fire. The fire is a transformative force. It transformed the way that we lived. Once we figured out fire, we could warm ourselves, we could cook our food. It opened up a world to us. Embracing our fire. I was listening to a writer, I forget his name, but he was talking about the tarot, which is not what I had expected, and yet was so beautifully pleased by. And he said that this is the transformative force. The fire is what gets you out of bed in the morning. The fire is what ignites you forward. The fire is what, is what we're drawn to, is the light and the passion of a person. Now, I was also taught that this can be temper, that this can be, all consuming and a little bit more like fly by night than other signs. But taking them and melding them together is really quite beautiful, because as we embrace the fire of ourselves, we can see where we transformed. And Aries, you will be able to see where you transformed, where the fly by night or the anger and frustration that came forward, that kind of like, erupted out of you like a volcano, is now being honed to be a light, to be a guide, to be a symbol, to be that beacon in the darkness that is so forceful and so sure that people are drawn to your confidence. People are drawn to your ability to get the job done. So this is just beautiful. It is beautiful, and you are stepping into your power so exquisitely that you become a light within the darkness for others. And that is a magnificent thing. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Bye.